Good morning, everyone. Hopefully this is not too loud. Can one of you guys drop the slider over there so we're not going to deafen everyone in the room? Test, test. There, that's better. All right, good morning. Welcome to our 2017 kickoff. We've got some stuff I wanted to cover this morning, some introduction, start some stuff that's changing this year, and then we'll jump into today's activities. First of all, I want to thank all of you for your time as coaches volunteering to work with our kids. It really makes a difference in our community. We can put on events, but you're the ones who help bring the team. So thank you. Thank you. On behalf of all of us at Central Valley Robotics and FIRST, thank you. So I just wanted to start off with some quick questions, some quick polls by show of hands. How many of you, this is your first time with FIRST? Wow. Welcome. Now, how many of you have got you're a rookie team and you've got registered with FIRST? Awesome. How many of you are new and you're still thinking about a team, but you're not in the system yet? Cool. Welcome. And just so that all of our rookies know, raise your hand if you've done this before. Welcome back. Some of our veteran coaches will be on that panel this morning to help answer any questions for those joining us for the first time today. So for those that are joining us for the first time, I wanted to kind of talk about FIRST for a little bit, play a little video. Hopefully the audio works. And then we'll jump in from there.
Founded by inventor Dean Kamen to inspire young people to become leaders and innovators in science and technology, FIRST brings kids ages 6 to 18 together with coaches, mentors, and professional engineers, challenging them to do research and design, build, and program real robots for fun and competition. The experience they have, the knowledge they gain, and the friendships they make along the way help build self-confidence, ignite creativity, and inspire them to solve the world's greatest challenges. Be strong citizens and build a brighter future. FIRST features a progression of 4 programs, each level designed to help kids develop new skills, learn how to work as a team, and practice gracious professionalism. In other words, helping everybody, not just your own team, and being a good sport. Support along their journey comes from thousands of adult coaches, mentors, volunteers, and sponsors. If you'd like to get involved in your area, visit us online.
So the biggest question we get is, why FIRST? And I kind of wanted to point out to everyone something that was kind of made aware to us as Central Valley Robotics from FIRST, but is not necessarily all that well known. FIRST has an impact study that's been done by Brandeis. It's got 10 years of data behind it. We have a link on our website that takes you to the first page at gocvr.org/impact. But FIRST has done a study across all programs that proves that FIRST works. And if you want to read the whole study, we've got some pretty infographics here that I'll cover, but the full study actually goes into details, especially talking about, thank you, kind of demographic-based splits and looking very detailed into the impact. But at an overall, especially if we just take a look at FIRST Lego League on the slide, you're looking at 87% more interested in doing well in school, planning on more challenging or science and math courses at the high school level. More interested in going to college is 88%, and then 90% in a lot of these areas when you're looking at work and life skills. There's actually a breakdown for FIRST Lego League specifically. And if you look at STEM awareness, you're almost 90% on all the categories: designing a robot, explaining how a robot works, building a robot, and then programming it. Almost 100% of these participants have a greater awareness of STEM, their increased interest in doing well and going to college. And then when you're looking at life skills, more time management, conflict resolution, and a lot more teamwork. We can even take this breakdown into FIRST Lego League Junior, and you see a very similar breakaway. FIRST works, and FIRST has data to prove that it works. And it's really cool to see, and we also have from FIRST standards alignment. For those of you that work in education and are interested in this, I'm going to cover a brief here, but they have a full standards mapping available for Common Core and GSS. Particularly first calls out that they cover over 90% of the science and engineering practices and the cross-cutting concepts in the next generation science standards. There's full maps for each of the 4 programs of First Lego League Junior, First Lego League, First Tech Challenge, and First Robotics Competition. That's available on the educator's website. And there will be more details coming on that as First kind of gets into the mainstream. Some of you may have seen the new bulk purchase options for First Lego League and First Lego League Junior. This is an effort by First to kind of bring First Lego League, First Tech Challenge, and First Lego League Junior into the classroom. They're simplified models. They kind of put the burden on running events on the actual sites themselves. But I did want to make sure that everyone knows that a school can have multiple teams. If you want multiple teams, you do not have to purchase the bulk model. But that is an option for those that wish to kind of use First Lego League in the classroom, but not be tied to the season schedule. So you can run First Lego League in the spring if you want. So those options exist, and you can view full details on that, and there's going to be a lot more on that coming in the next couple years as First develops the kind of in-classroom model for all of our programs. So let's talk about where we are as a region. So our region covers Madera all the way down to bottom of Kern. It's really exciting to say that we have right now 100 teams registered for First Lego League in our area. When I was editing these slides from last year, that number was 48. So it's nice to see that we're almost double year over year at this time. There's 12 teams that are pending that may become real teams once the process and payments work out. And as of right now, there's 43 rookie teams in our area, which is pretty cool. For First Lego League Junior, as a month in, we're at 15 teams, which, given that the First Lego League Junior registration runs from now until April, there'll be a lot of teams joining as we continue. So we're hoping to hit 60, 70 around there by the time we hit April. So in terms of what's happening with us at Central Valley Robotics, we have some new staff. You met Pratik, who joined us this year. He's helping with our events. I think you did a real good job helping plan kickoff, so thank you, Pratik. Yes, claps. She wasn't able to join us, but we have Kaylin Dower joining us to help us with outreach, and you'll probably start seeing her reply to more and more emails if you email us going forward. She'll also be helping with our new social media efforts, which I'll talk about in a bit. Hopefully all of you saw the new and improved Team Connect, now called MyCVR. Mobile focused. Soon it'll be automatic import from First. You won't have to wait for me to go press a couple buttons and download a spreadsheet and upload it again. And when First gives us access to the information, all of your STIMs, doing your team members through First, the paperwork, the online paperwork called STIMs, it was supposed to go live this week. I'm not sure if it did. I don't see any data yet, so I can't do anything with it. And we have a lot of cool stuff coming towards our events this year. We're doing a lot of focus on improving our volunteer experience at our events, so if you are interested in volunteering, I'll have more information about that. And then hopefully you saw with some of our emails, we have a new email blast list that kind of focuses on all 4 programs. It's got segments or interests that allow you to pick what you want to receive. I'll have more details on that when we talk about our online tools workshop. So the 2017 season is here, and it's all about water with our Aqua Adventure and hydrodynamics challenges. In Aqua Adventure, our kids are just going to be looking at how they use water in their community, the journey of that water, and how to improve a part of it. Through their program, they'll create a team model which showcases what they've learned, and then they'll create a show me poster, package that all up, and show it off at an expo. Through this, when you register your team, you get 2 very important materials, your engineering notebooks and the team meeting guide. There was some confusion that I got an email from First this week. It's important to note that these are not digitally provided. They are printed. There's no digital versions. So these will be shipped to you once you pay the national registration fee and get registered with First. Moving on to First Lego League, hydrodynamics. This year we're focusing on the human water cycle, whether it's drinking, which is washing, either directly using water or indirectly, manufacturing, transport, production. Our kids are going to be looking at the way humans use water. And the 3 kind of main components to that: identify a problem in the human water cycle, design a solution to make the problem better, and share your problem, share the problem and solution with the community. Then you package all that up and do a presentation to our project judges at a qualifier. First defines the human water cycle as the ways people find, transport, use, and dispose of water in order to meet a specific need or desire. It's a fairly open topic, but as you'll see in the challenge updates, they've added some restrictions, or clarifications, I should say. It's very much important about how humans use water and are affected by that, not necessarily kind of given the unfortunate kind of, what's the word I'm looking for? The problems that happened in Houston, the flooding, they added some clarification on whether or not those type of situations can be in this year's projects. So Callie will be going over that in the project deep dive later this morning. So last year, we had the opportunity of sending 2 teams to the Houston Championship. This year, First has kind of redone their zones, and we'll be advancing 1. So that means our first place Champions Award winner at our championship in February will move on to the World Festival in Houston in the middle of April. So and we are hoping to get some more open championship spots like we did last year, but we won't know what those look like, how many spots, until we get towards the championship in January or February, once we get those invites from the other regions. We're hoping to maybe have another handful like we did this year, but we will see, and we'll let you know when we get those invites. So just some changes to cover for our first LEGO League teams. While it's a change for First, it's not necessarily a change for our region because we piloted the change last year. The advancement policy dictates how teams move from our qualifiers to championship. First got rid of the judge's choice option. It's now just a straight 75%, meaning that if it's a 24-team qualifier, your team has to be in the top 18 teams to be eligible to be considered for advancement. There's no longer a judge's choice. It'll be straight based off the Champions Award criteria. Callie will be talking about this more in her judging session, but we have a link, and you can click that in the slide deck when we post it to learn more about our advancement policy. Global Innovation Award is staying the same. For those of you who don't know what the Global Innovation Award is, it's an opportunity for students to use their project to compete for a $20,000 prize at the national level. There will be a couple rounds of judging starting at our qualifiers, going to another round of judging at our championship, going to a online national round of judging, and then there is a final round of judging that happens in Washington, D.C. at the Patent Office where they announce the winner. We're not changing anything, so for all of our veteran coaches last year, it's still the same process. A team will be nominated from each qualifier to attend the championship, and there'll be a special round, a separate track of judging at the championship for those teams. More information on our website, and Callie will talk about that in her session. Just wanted to make notes about use of water when it comes to our events this year. Just please be considerate about bringing large quantities of waters, tanks, or whatever to demonstrate. We don't want floods in our buildings. So alternative ways instead of actually bringing gallons of water in is preferred. And also our venues won't have abilities to necessarily provide large quantities of water for demonstrations. If you have any questions about this, you can reach out to us and we can work with our event partners to kind of make sure for each of our qualifiers and their sites and their restrictions. First has already posted challenge updates. They posted 4 on the day of Global Challenge release. And there was another one that went out this week regarding the flooding clarifications. There'll be more information in that on our various breakout sessions, the robot game, and Callie will talk about them in the judging. There is a new project rubric, and we still need to post the new version on our website. They updated it last night or the night before, but the main thing was a change to the sharing and kind of a focus on the process. Callie will be going more into that in her part in the judging deep dive, and there's a full breakdown on our website about what first changed and their meaning and goals behind that. So, okay, good. I'm excited to announce, hot off the presses, it's not even on our website yet, we will be having a scrimmage this year hosted by the Buchanan Bird Brains on October 21st. We'll get that on our website next week. But in terms of our qualifiers, we're still planning a November 4th, November 18th, 2 on December 2nd, 1 on December 9th, and 1 on December 16th. Assuming we hit 144 teams in the region, each event will be 24 teams in size. If we go any larger, some events may grow to 36, depending on how our registration numbers fall when we get to late September and into October. Our championship moved from January back to February to kind of help us with planning. January is a little tight for us this year, and given some other stuff going on and behind the scenes that I can't talk about yet, secrets. We moved the championship to February. Hopefully we can talk about more about all the stuff we've got planning soon, but this is just going to help us make sure we can put on a really good event for you guys. In terms of First Lego League Junior, right now we only have our Championship Expo, which is our First Lego League Junior Expo at our championship on the 24th of February. That's the only one we have on the docket right now. There are others that are in planning, but we can't announce them at this time because they're not formally they're not committed to yet, but we hope to get a couple maybe in December and one in April. And we'll have more information and post those on our website as they get finalized. So I just wanted to cover some important dates for all of our First Lego League coaches. This is found in the Season Standards Manual. It's a copy from that document with the addition of the scrimmage registration timeline. So hopefully in the next week or two, we will put up the scrimmage in MyCVR, and you'll be able to register for it. You will not need to get your forms in for that event. For our qualifiers opening on September 28th, you will need to have all your forms and documentation and paperwork in, and that there's the process and details for that on our website, and we'll talk about that more in the online tool session. October 27th is when we're going to start pulling details from MyCVR to print out the coach badges, to build the programs for all of our qualifiers this year. So it's important to have all your team names and your coaches in the system by then. If there's an emergency change that needs to happen with a coach on a roster, we can make that happen on a case-by-case basis. But when it comes to team names, we might pull them again after October 27th, but there's no guarantee. So be sure to make sure all of your team name, your team information is final by that date. We're going to close event registration hopefully on the 2nd of November, and we would like all of our teams to have paid our qualifying event sites for their registration fee by that date to help them have money to run their qualifier. Our qualifiers, as we've talked about, November 4/18, December 2/9/16. Judging profiles, which Callie will talk about and I'll show off in the online tool session. Those are due the Wednesday night prior to each event is when we print those out and package them for our judges. You'll notice if you attend one of the last qualifiers, you have only 6 days to confirm your participation at championship. We want to make sure that all of our teams are locked in before we head to the holiday break this year, so we need all of our teams who are advancing to the championship to confirm participation by December 22nd. So if you attend a later event, you get more time, but you have a very quick turnaround to confirm that. If you do not confirm by the 22nd, we'll start moving to the waitlist teams to make sure that we notify them that they have a spot at our championship. February 2nd was when we pull stuff from championship, pull stuff from our website for championship, payments are due, and then our championship's on the 24th of February. For First Lego League Junior, you're looking at a much more free schedule. So Anthony will talk about this more in the First Lego League Junior session. But it's about an 8-week season, and we just kind of, to make it easier, you identify an expo you want to attend. It's about a 8 to 10 week program, so you go forward 8 to 10 weeks, and that's about the time you should start your season. So if you're wanting the end of February, you should start late December. But it's up to you. You can go longer. You can start now and work for 12, 14 weeks, depending on whatever works for your team. But definitely don't want to spend 4 weeks on it. Give yourself at least 8 weeks to get yourself ready for the expo. We're hoping to open our registration for expos on October 5th. And just like our first Lego League teams, there's paperwork required to register for an expo. Just wanted to make everyone aware that coaches can volunteer at events. Coaches, site coordinators, team administrators, you're welcome to volunteer at events for which your team is not attending. And we have a lot more information on our website about this. We're also looking for those interested in key positions, and you can kind of reach out to us for details on that. New this year, we're going to be sending out a survey early next week, kind of a start of season survey asking, and we would like you to complete this in 1 week. This is going to our first Lego League teams only. We're going to kind of be polling you guys for which dates you want our coach phone calls, coach seminars on. Last year, we did kind of one in person for this, but we're going to do all phone calls this year. And we're just going to be asking which days, evenings work best for you to run these, and we'll be scheduling our coach seminars around that. Looking into resources and some other stuff, but expect that early next week, along with the survey from the kickoff to let us know how we did for this event. So some important resources for our first Lego League teams. Santanu will cover resources for our first Lego League junior teams in the intro session. Season standards manual, very, very important document. It lets you know how we run our first Lego League events in Central California. That is available on our website, and all of our team resources can be found on our resources page on our website, which is under the First Lego League menu, and view all resources. I'll be showing all this off in the Intro to Tools session. Now, I hope some of you have heard of this. It took me forever to find the link on the first website, but there is something called First Steps. It's actually a fairly lengthy walkthrough training process from First on how to get started coaching in First Lego League. This link is a little long, info.firstinspires.org/FLL First Steps request, but you can download the slide deck and click the link yourself to gain access to that. It's free. It's gone through Schoology, and you'll just have to fill out the form to request it, and then you'll get added, and you'll be able to view that kind of support resource for those that are interested in it. I'll also recommend watching our online orientation meeting video if you haven't, and if you're new to this. It's about a 20-minute video where Kelly and I kind of go over the basics, what to expect regarding First Lego League in our region. And for kind of our site coordinators and other people, our team lists are live on our website. We posted this on Facebook, and I think it went out in an email blast this week. But you can see the status of all our teams for site coordinators with multiple teams, 6, 7, 8. If you want to see the status of everything at once, you can check out these public pages on our website that show off all of the status, where teams are from, and eventually which teams register for which events. Again, as we show on the back of the flyer, hopefully you all picked up, we will be posting the slide decks, this flyer, any other handouts, and hopefully recordings of all of these sessions to our website in the next week and on our YouTube channel. So you'll be able to access all this and click all the links in the slide deck and view them all at home. And again, you're welcome to go to the challenge materials links and follow along on those during the sessions today from your mobile devices. So with that covers kind of my keynote. Let's talk about what's happening today. As you all have on your flyers, we have the kind of breakdown of our schedule this year. They're color-coded. Green is for First Lego League Junior, red is for First Lego League, and purple is for our cross-program events and activities. For our Meet the Topic Experts panel, we will actually have Sarge Green from the California Water Institute, Steve Haugen from the Kings River Water Association, Chad Fisher from the State Water Resources Control Board, and Lisa Cohn from the Public Utilities Department in Clovis. That session is probably going to run long and go into lunch. Just as a forewarning, we want to give our speakers ample time to talk because there's 4 of them. So that will probably run an hour and 15 minutes, depending on questions and so forth. Which is why we scheduled it where it is to go into lunch. As a reference to the locations, the MPR is this room where you're at right now. For those interested in attending the Bricks for Kids, EV3, or We Do sessions, is Judy here? Judy's in the back. It's through that hallway right there into the band room. And for the gymnasium, you'll go out this door in the back and make a left, and it's the big building there, and that is where all of our gym sessions are going to be held, which will be our panelists and the robot game deep dive. On the back of the flyer, you have the lunch menu for this afternoon. Lunch purchases do help support us and help us cover the costs for this event, so we hope that you consider buying lunch here today. And we do have our afternoon mock competition open for everyone, so your students can come to that, and they can also attend lunch to help out our fundraiser. We will have some high school teams out during the lunch area out here at tables to network with you guys, provide resources, show off their robots. Some of our first LEGO League in 10 days that are participating in the mock competition will have their robots out, and you can ask them questions about how they designed it and what they think of the challenge, what they did. We will have teams from Buchanan High School and Clovis North competing in this today. Should be a fun little relaxing, kind of a little loosey-goose on the rules afternoon with the competition, but just to have some fun to show off how the competition runs. And again, parents, students, and everyone's welcome to attend. So finally, as we get to wrap up here, I just wanted to share all of our social medias with everyone. Our social media accounts. We just launched a new Instagram account, which is pretty cool. We're starting to use it more and more. And we've kind of revamped how we're using Twitter and Facebook. And so you'll see us kind of doing a lot more social media push in the future, but do follow along. We're going to have some cool stuff happening at our events with social media, looking at stories and success with our kids. This will all be available. We also have a LinkedIn page as well. So we've got places everywhere for wherever you subscribe to social media to follow us. With that, welcome. Thank you for attending. Our first sessions will begin in about 10 minutes with the intro to First LEGO League Junior here in this room, the robot game deep dive in the gymnasium, and the EV3 demo in the band room with Bricks for Kids. We hope you have a good day today. Thank you.